We're
My
so
name is
bad.
Axel. Oh, well,
Well,
don't interrupt me when I'm speaking.
especially the very important intro.
I know. My name is Axel Post. I am a washout Division II backup weak hitting catcher. And this is my friend Tate Stone Fresina, D2 washout reliever, closer, starter, pinch runner. And this is Thinking Right Center. And here we are again.
We're back.
We're back, baby. Um, we won't waste any time. Josh Hader, 5 years, 95 million to the other team in Texas. I thought he was going to go to the Rangers. I thought it was a slam dunk move for the Rangers to go get a closer. But the Astros decided to build a super pen instead.
Yeah. I mean, I really did want the Rangers to get him. Seems like such a Ranger. But yeah, the Astros, like, number one, they just win. Like they've had like such ups and downs of talent in different spots. So they know how to build a team, they win.
Mm.
And now like that back end of that pen is pretty disgusting. Like I love Presley.
Yeah, I mean Brian Abreu is. I mean
Yep.
the game's over if the Astros are winning after 6 innings, the game is over.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Brian Abreu's pumping like 100 mile per hour two seamers in there. Like, yeah, it's a great move, and I think 5 years, 95 mil. Like, what does that come out to? Comes out 5 years.
Just shy of 20 a year.
Yeah, I mean, for a closer, like it's an interesting case, right? Because he's only gonna pitch when you're up, and he only pitches 1 inning, right? But he secures the win, so
Yeah,
it goes back. To,
he's actually the guy that refuses to throw more than 1 inning.
yeah,
You
it's
gotta
actually
remember that.
like how much is a win to you? Like, how do you value a win and like securing every win? And they obviously thought, like, hey, we're not happy with what we have. We can always do better. And maybe they just had some money, you know?
Yeah, I think the concern certainly isn't in their starting rotation, right? Because Verlander is going to be one, Valdez is two. Javier had a weird year, but I think you're still slotting him in to be a starter. Hunter Brown is a guy that he
Yeah.
had a 5 ERA last year, but I think I mean, he was a dark horse rookie of the year candidate in my eyes
And he's
before.
young. Those guys that can figure it out. And like, even like Lance McCullers can come back and be really good.
Luis Garcia is going to come back.
Yeah. Luis Garcia with his,
Jose Urquidy's your five right now, and I can't express enough how much I think he stinks. But like he's gonna throw innings. He is definitely more of a swing man type, but
yeah.
until Luis Garcia gets back, like if you're the Astros, you're gonna hit enough where you can stomach Urquidy in the five. And
Yeah.
honestly, if your Urquidy goes out there, he gives you 5 innings and he lets up 4 runs, and then you bridge it out to Rafael Montero throws the sixth shutout, and the Astros score 5 runs. You're up 5-4 going into the seventh. The game's over,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
A Brady
right?
Presley hater. And it's all like, I like it too, because it's all different guys.
Way different.
Like Abreu is a righty, he's going to come at you with those two seams. Presley's going to spin the ball like no one else. And then you got Hader coming like weird angle from the left side. He's going to throw like up, he's going to throw out. It's cool. Like it's so hard as a hitter. I'm sure you can speak to this. I was not a good hitter at all. Even third time through the order, I had trouble. But like seeing a new guy every inning that has nasty stuff is impossible.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Abreu, I feel like doesn't get. I think because he wasn't the closer last year, because Presley
Yeah.
was the closer, he doesn't get his flowers for what he did last year. He threw 72 innings. He struck out 100 and had a 1.75 ERA.
Yeah, exactly.
He was the case could have been made that he was a top 5 reliever in baseball last year. Ryan Presley, I mean, he consistently spins the curveball at 3,000 RPM.
Yeah, he's insane.
He's
And he has
insane.
versions of it, and he's still like throwing mid 90s.
Yeah, he
Like,
still throws decently hard. He struck out 74 and 65 and a third. And then, you have Hader, who, you got Edwin Diaz, who I would say is still probably better than him. What other closer do you want over Hader besides Bautista? But Bautista's hurt.
Yeah, exactly. Thinking
He's a
about it
top
right
three
now.
closer.
Yeah,
I think it goes Diaz, Bautista, Hader.
I like that.
And
Uh,
Bautista's hurt. So the only other option you'd rather have is Edwin Diaz. Hader
yeah,
had a 1.28 ERA and 56 and a third with 85 Ks.
yeah, he's unreal.
Like this back end of the bullpen. I mean, and Presley, I guess, had a down year with a 3.58.
Yeah,
I don't think that repeats itself. And even if it does, if Presley's your seventh inning guy with a
yeah,
3.5 with experience closing, I think you're fine. Like,
exactly. Like it's awesome. I love I love building up that back end of the bullpen. Like you see every team that makes a run usually has like those two guys that you can always turn to.
yeah, when you think of this is funny. When you think of a three-headed like monster in the back end of the bullpen, do you have a team that like a
Oh,
former team that comes to mind?
well, I have insane bias. But let's talk about the 2021 Braves, the night shift.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
This is not where I was going with this, but go ahead.
I'm trying to remember now. It was Minter.
You don't even fucking remember who they are.
It's Minter, Luke Jackson, Will Smith, baby. The night shift.
I hate it so much.
Yeah.
But where I was going was that 2015 Royals team.
Oh yeah. I mean,
They had
excellent. The Royals like set the tone for the modern era of bullpen baseball, I think.
yeah, for sure. Dude, they had so who was it? It was Kelvin
Kelvin,
Herrera,
Kelvin Herrera threw
Wade
100.
Davis, Wade Davis, and Greg Holland.
Wade Davis, notable cutter guy.
Yes, big cutter guy. And they
Yes,
were
I see him at the
all
meetings
nasty.
all the time.
Yeah. He was nasty.
Yeah,
And like they definitely set the precedent for their starters had to go 5 or 6 innings and then the game was over.
yeah, and I mean they bullied their way to the World Series.
Right. And I think, the Astros, I don't think they're ever slept on, but I think everybody's just so tired of being like, yes, the Astros are good that they don't get talked about a ton.
Yeah, they're one of those weird good teams to me where like obviously they have Alvarez who's gonna murder the ball, but they're not like star studded as they were. But they're
No,
just
well,
soft all
Correa,
over.
Correa was definitely, and like Bregman used to be more of a star than what he is now.
Yeah, but there's every position they're solid. And like last year, like Mauricio Dubon was like starting most of their games and he went off.
Yep.
Like the Astros have that effect.
And, Kyle Tucker is definitely a star, but have you ever heard Kyle Tucker talk?
No.
I haven't.
Yeah, it's like who interviews Kyle Tucker? No one talks about him.
Guy was one homer away from a 30-30 season, and I just like he's just kind of there. Like
Yeah, I mean,
he's the fourth guy you think
I
about
love
when
Kyle.
he's the fourth guy you think about when you think of the Astros for me. I think of Altuve, Bregman, Alvarez, then Tucker. The guy was one of the best players in baseball last year. He's the fourth guy I think of on their team.
That's crazy. Do you remember Kyle Tucker's brother,
No.
Preston Tucker,
Oh, he was a
notable,
Brave. Yeah.
notable Atlanta Brave?
Yeah.
Also, you never met. This is way off topic, and like people will not understand this. But Patrick Sherba, his brother Connor, his ex-girlfriend is married to Preston Tucker. So that's just a weird.
Hey, what is it? The six connections away from Kevin Bacon or some bullshit like that.
Oh, yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
that.
So, you're a couple things away from Kyle Tucker, which means we're best friends.
Exactly, exactly.
But a lot of bullpen moves just
Oh
in
yeah,
general around the league. I'm just now recognizing the next one is Yariel Rodriguez to the Blue Jays. 4
we
years, 32 million.
we both love this move.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah,
So,
you
so
the defection story.
so we were just talking. Yeah, we were just talking about this. So he's a Cuban guy, and I believe he defects from Cuba to go play in Japan.
Yeah,
And I think he got approval from it wasn't the Jose Fernandez story where he like saves his mom from a fucking falling off a boat. Like I think he was approved by the Cuban government to defect. He plays in Japan for a couple of years, and then where most people saw him for the first time would be the WBC, like you and me, right? Where you go, holy fuck, this guy's nasty.
shoves. Yeah,
And after the WBC, he just never went back to Japan. So he just stayed in the States, and the team, I forget what team he played on to Japan. It doesn't really matter, but they didn't waive him until after their season was over. So he couldn't sign with the MLB team last season. So he just spent the entire year just working out, prepping for this year's free agency cycle. And at the end of the season, his team in Japan waived him, and he entered free agency as a swingman type reliever right now. I think the goal is for the Blue Jays to eventually want to introduce him to the starting rotation, but I kind of don't think it's going to happen in year one.
Yeah, he was a starter in the WBC. He's got good stuff. He's got like 3 pitches, could definitely make it through lineup. I mean, having a guy like that though is so invaluable. Like put him out in the 6th and the 7th. He can go multiple innings.
Yeah, for reference, right? He was not a starter in Japan, but he threw, or maybe he was a starter in Japan. No, he wasn't a starter in Japan, but he threw 94 innings.
Yeah, so he's
that kind of a thing.
Yeah, he'll be around a lot.
So he's around like 94 innings, 96 innings. He was a starter in like Cuba and towards the beginning of his career in Japan. He throws absolute fuzz.
Oh, yeah.
And then his last year in Japan, he was a full-time reliever and had a 1.15 ERA and 54 innings. So
solid.
Pretty good. That's normally pretty good.
Yeah.
But he throws like kind of a cut ride fastball. He's just got good stuff. I think you're probably like the first year is probably going to be a little bit of a wash, maybe getting used to the new ball and just a year off of, he hasn't pitched in a year in an actual game.
Yeah.
But if he's a resemblance of a good reliever for you, the AAV is not high.
Yeah.
Right? It's $8 million. If he's a good reliever for you, then you can stomach that in the first year. And if he ever becomes a starter for you, it's going to be one of the best deals in baseball.
Yeah. No, I didn't. Yeah. That's such a good point. How old is he?
He's a little bit in the older, or actually, no, he's not. He's 27. So he's relatively young. He definitely could have gotten more AAV if he signed for a cheaper deal.
Mm-hmm.
But I think maybe he just wanted the guarantee after being out of baseball for a year, is my guess.
Yeah, no, I mean, great for both sides. I'm excited to watch him. He's exciting, dude.
I think the Blue Jays needed him too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like I think that's part of the reason why he maybe signed with the Blue Jays. Like they need me, and maybe this guy's racking up the stamps on his passport, by the way, too.
I know. I was just thinking about it. Now he's got to go to Canada.
Now he's going to Canada.
I know how the whole immigration process works with that, because like,
dude,
it's complicated.
I can't even imagine. Like, so he's got Cuba, he's got Japan. He had to go to the States for the WBC, and now he's in Canada.
Yep.
This guy's played baseball everywhere. But no, I like it for the Blue Jays. There's not really too much to say about it. I don't think he's not like this crazy impact arm like Hader is, obviously, because he got 32 million as opposed to 95.
And we don't know much about him, which is
cool. We think he's going to be good. He might suck. That's just kind of the deal with the guy who's never pitched in the MLB.
Yeah.
But I think especially with Manoah slotting in at your 5, you have no idea. He could win the Cy Young, or he could be in Double-A again. Nice to have a guy that's just going to be there to maybe, start some games in a pinch or take over when he goes 2 innings with 9 runs or whatever.
It cannot hurt.
No. And then another big time reliever is Robert Stevenson, who
you enlightened me to how big time this is.
I mean, dude, he started the year with the Pirates.
Yeah.
And had a 5-something ERA. And then the Rays got to him. And the Rays kind of did what the Rays do to everybody and turned him into the best pitcher ever. Literally the best pitcher ever. And Robert Stevenson's always been this guy. I think he was a pretty highly regarded prospect. He came up as a starter with the Reds.
He's always had stuff. Like he's always had a hard fastball and a good slider.
Yes.
You put those
And
together, you get a perfect Rays reliever.
right, exactly. So he goes to the Rays and has a 2.35 ERA in 38 and a third. But it's even better than that. He struck out 60 in 38 and a third.
So like almost 2 an inning.
He struck out 14 per 9.
Oh my god.
Right. So and this is and I don't think did we even say where he's going? He's going to the Angels for 3 years, 33 million. Which I'll be honest with you, if anybody could fuck up Robert Stevenson, it's going to be the Angels.
I was about to say, like, the Rays magic could wear off.
And it could definitely wear off.
5 ERA Robert Stevenson again.
So I am legitimately worried about that because, like, I appreciate the Angels for trying.
They've been doing the same thing every year, and it has not worked yet.
And they signed, like, I guess we can lump Matt Moore into this too. And
yeah,
I like Matt Moore.
He's become a good bullpen guy.
He's a good lefty reliever. He used to be a terrible prospect over Mike Trout.
Yes.
But, like, what is a good bullpen doing for the Angels?
What are the Angels doing?
They're going to win 78 games now as opposed to 75. It doesn't do anything. I don't.
Yeah.
Their rotation is still, I like Reed Detmers, and then past that, Griffin Canning, Patrick Sandoval, Tyler Anderson, Chase Silseth. I mean,
yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Patrick Sandoval's got good stuff, but he doesn't know where the fuck it's really going in terms of, for starters. Griffin Canning's, like, fine.
Yeah.
And then, like, Tyler Anderson, I think, is fucking mincemeat.
He's old. And he had one good year, and the Angels gave him a ton of money as well. A long deal.
And I guess this is to our point, too. Tyler Anderson had his good year with the Dodgers, right?
Yep.
Yeah, right? Like, if anybody can fuck up a pitcher, it's the Angels.
Yeah, that magic doesn't keep going.
No, and Giolito, right? Giolito, before the trade deadline, had a low 4s ERA, like a 4.1 something. Gets to the Angels and just fucking implodes.
And then they release him. And they trade like a pretty good catching prospect.
Yeah, Edgar Caro, who's a top 100 prospect in baseball for like three or four starts of an awful Lucas Giolito.
The Angels will always angel.
They're angeling right now, and I just it sucks because I wish Robert Stevenson, because I think he can be, clearly can be unbelievable.
Oh yeah,
and it sucks that he's gonna go to a team that. It'd be different. It'd be different if it was. So we can segue into the Aroldis deal. So Aroldis got 1 year for 10 and a half to the Pirates. It'd be different if it was a 1 year deal on a rebuilding team where you could go, okay, at the deadline, they're going to trade him for prospects.
Perfect. Yes.
That's what the Pirates are doing.
It's rebuilding 101.
Rebuilding 101 is you get a veteran, particularly relievers, because they're going to be on the more cheap side. Although Aroldis, 10 and a half for Aroldis kind of feels like a lot.
It does, especially at this. But if he was throwing harder again last year, like, you never know.
I know, but at the end of the year, I didn't trust him on the mound.
No.
And I never really trust him on the mound.
No, it's weird. It's one of those. Yeah.
It's like but he's going to be flipped because I like what the Pirates are doing, but they're not going to be good this year.
No.
And I think it's different from what the Angels are doing, where you can tell they're actively trying to be good.
Yes.
But they're just not going to be.
And
they
failing.
just won't be. They just won't be good. They're not even wild card team good.
Yeah. It's so disappointing, especially like that division with the Astros and Rangers. Like, you're gonna get beat up a lot, and the Mariners.
Yeah, they're leagues ahead of you.
And you have the Athletics. Congrats.
They're a baseball team.
Axel knows I have a very soft spot for the Athletics. I watched a lot of Athletics games this last year. for whatever reason. But yeah, it's like I also wonder like what are you gonna do with Nolan Shanuel? Like called him up, like he skipped the minors. Do you send him back to the minors? Do you ruin his development forever? Like what's the move there?
I think they're gonna keep him. They're gonna keep him up because he did.
He did decently well.
You know, the worst thing that Nolan Shanwell could do for his career is maybe have done well in the months that he was up.
That's what I'm saying because his flaws will get exposed and they'll get exposed in a big way on a big stage.
Well, he just doesn't have like he has power, but I think he's really leaning into he's got a great hit tool. He's really leaning into the hit tool because
Oh, yeah,
he
I
can't
also
get
yeah
his A swing off on MLB pitching yet. He went
he
to
was
FAU.
he was thrust into like this crazy situation. He was like, okay, like I know I have good bat to ball skills. I'll just try my best, make contact. But like, at FAU, his swing was like comfortable lefty swing. And there he's like two strike approach all the time.
It feels like it backs it up with the numbers too. He got on base. He had a 402 on base.
That's sick.
Which is so cool for a guy from a fucking mid-major get called up a month later and has a 402 on base in the bigs. Like that's awesome. That's
Especially
great.
First baseman.
It's like super cool story, and I loved it. I loved that he was up, but I
Yeah.
think he hit 275 and had a 330 slug.
Yeah, that's
You can't slug 330 and play first base.
yeah. If your on base percentage is 402 and your OPS is still like 730 something.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Particularly at first base. You can't do that at first base.
Yeah, that's like D Gordon.
And I love him, but I think it would just be better for him to be in Double A and learn how to, lift the ball on professional pitching. But
Yeah,
instead, they're gonna be like, no, we need to be good now. And Nolan Shanwell is better than whoever our quadruple A guy is.
Yeah, what happened to Jared Walsh, dude?
He can't sleep.
Yes.
He's got he can't sleep and his eyesight's all fucked up because of it. He got released.
Yeah, I know. College.
Yeah. The
Angels, baby.
I'm just I can't wrap my head around what the Angels doing. But hey, they'll have a good bullpen.
Hey, trade for prospects. Just start the rebuild now.
Just do it now. Just start trading now because that's what you're going to do at the deadline. You could get more for him now.
Mike Trout.
If I was the Angels, well, actually, we can have this conversation. If I was the Angels, I would trade Mike Trout. Would you?
Yes, 100%.
Because I think, and it's honestly, it's kind of getting to the point where it might be hard to unload that contract.
Exactly.
Because he's not.
He's still good, but he's not playing as much.
He's not healthy all the time, and he's still great. He had a quote unquote down year in the games that he did play last year, and he had an 860 OPS.
Yeah, he's unreal. And also, like, I mean, I get like you held out, you let Ohtani finish the year as an Angel, but could you imagine the haul?
Yep.
That like only a few teams could really give you.
Yep. You could have done this so much. From last year's deadline to now, the Angels have essentially done nothing correct.
They've gotten worse.
Yes, they lost Ohtani, which means you're going to get worse unless you fill it with 10 wins.
And you got rid of prospects.
You got rid of prospects. Like Brandon Drury is a good player.
That's another one, dude. Like he had a good year and then they unloaded a huge contract for him.
And he's a good player, but he's 31 and a half. And you could easily trade Brandon Drury for pretty good prospects.
Imagine like so many teams could have that power hitting second baseman.
If you're the Angels, you should be trading everyone that's north of 32 years old.
Should be the Athletics, basically.
You should trade everybody because there's just no reason to have these guys because you're not going to be good. And that's.
You think anyone in their right mind would trade for Rendon at this point?
No.
He's insane.
I think if you called every single GM and said, "Hey, what do you think about Rendon?" they would hang up the phone.
I mean, I was watching, what was that interview where he said like the season should be shorter?
Yes, he said the season of all people. And it's like, dude, you don't play the games anyway.
Yeah. He like refused to talk to reporters, like told them he didn't speak English.
He told a fan, that video where he was like yelling at a fan, told him like, fuck off.
Yeah. Like
then he was trying to fight a fan.
He's insane. I don't know what happened.
And then, Jonathan Papelbon's an absolute nutcase. But did you see the tweet that he sent?
No.
He sent a long tweet, but it basically just said Anthony Rendon hates baseball
Yeah.
because they were teammates on the Nationals.
Oh.
And he was like, yes, Anthony Rendon hates baseball.
Well, it's really starting to show. It did not
It's starting to show.
Yeah.
He got paid.
That's true.
It's just, one of those rare guys where he gets paid and completely shuts it down. So they're going to be handicapped with that for the next, how long? 20, 21, 22, 23, 3 years.
Okay.
Which is,
where did he go to college?
I have no idea.
Rice.
Jesus.
I don't know why I know this.
That's crazy. All right. I think, yeah. So we talked about enough about the bullpens now. Rhys Hoskins to maybe the team that makes the most sense in the world.
Oh, yeah. We both love this move.
Yeah. I mean, 2 years, 34 million to the Brewers. It doesn't get any easier.
Seems like a Brewer.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to hit a lot of home runs in that ballpark.
Yeah.
And I think obviously people, because what's he coming off? A broken ankle or something like that?
Or ACL, I think.
Yeah. Whatever it is. Same fucking thing.
Yeah.
I think Rhys Hoskins is about as consistent as a first baseman as it gets.
Yeah, like very consistent, like good hitter.
He's gonna hit around 30. He's gonna hit around 30 bombs. He's gonna take his walks. He's gonna strike out.
Yeah,
and pencil him in for around 100 ribbies and a OPS around 800, and that's just kind of going to be that. He's not going to give you the best defensive first base, but again, it's first base. So
and we kind of talked about it. This is the Brewers need. Like
the Brewers needed a first baseman, a guy that hits some bombs, and they got a guy that hits bombs.
Yeah, Brewers are such a cool team, such a weird cool team.
Yeah, they're in a weird spot.
Sal Frelick.
Yeah, Sal. I mean, come on, he's a mascot.
They've got Bryce Terang, Sal Frelick, and Joey. Like, is it Weimer?
Joey Weimer, who's built like a fucking brick shithouse. And Jackson Churiel, by the way.
Jackson Churiel is like the best hitter in minor league baseball. So
yeah, he's 20. Yeah. He's 20 years old. He's going to start on opening day in center field.
Yeah. All those guys are cool.
And Christian Yelich, cool.
Yeah, we love Christian Yelich.
I'm assuming. I'm just going to go out and say that Willy Adames is not going to hit 217 this year.
Yeah, Willy Adames is going to come back and he's going to hit the cover off the baseball.
I like Willy Adames. I think he's going to play.
Brandon Woodruff might come back.
No, he's gone.
Oh, he is gone.
They non-tendered him.
Yeah, that means it's a bad shoulder injury.
Yeah, which sucks because he's so good when he pitches.
Yeah.
The only thing about this Brewers team that for sure needs work is the starting rotation.
Yeah, that's true.
Want me to read it off for you?
Give it to me.
So, as of right now, it is Corbin Burns, who's great, awesome.
Oh.
Freddie Peralta, great.
Yeah.
Wade Miley, who's strangely like good.
Yeah, he had a really good year.
Yeah, he had a 3.14 ERA in 120 innings.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, do I think he's gonna have a 3.14? No, but then it gets weird. Then it goes Colin Ray, who they signed from Japan, like this month.
Japan bounced back. I love those.
Wait, no, not this month. Last year. Sorry. I see January 23, and then I think we're in 23 still.
Yeah.
But he had a 4.5 ERA in 124 innings. Fine. But then, your 5 is Joe Ross right now.
Not a Joe Ross supporter.
No, at this current moment, I'm not a Joe Ross guy.
Yeah.
There's just... And Bryce Wilson's your long reliever, who...
Bryce Wilson, famous Brave.
I knew you were going to have a soft spot for fucking Bryce Wilson.
He was a top prospect. Not top prospect, but like a top 5 prospect for the Braves at one point. I don't understand why.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you either.
There was like low 90s and has no other pitches.
With an okay slider.
Yes, and the cool mullet.
Cool mullet. Hey, there's always that. But they've got a guy named Tyler Black.
Yes, I've heard Tyler Black. Yeah.
Yes, Tyler, he's super fast. I just don't know where his spot is now. I think before this Reese Hoskins signing, it was gonna be a decent amount of first base, which is weird for a guy that stole 50 bags in the minors.
50.
But yeah, he stole 50 in the minors. He's like a crazy athlete and has played really well. So I think this might block him a little bit because I think the defensive side needs some work, and the only spot really available at this point would be third base and second base. And from what I've heard, it's not great at either of those spots.
Yeah, he's slotted as like a second baseman just because his body type, I think.
Yeah, he plays second base, but from what I understand, he plays it very poorly.
930 OPS last year,
Yeah, he rakes.
450 at bats. So that's
Yeah, he's really fucking good. I
career
just
880.
he slots in somewhere in this Brewers lineup. I just don't know where.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I have no idea.
Um, yes, but I think you're looking at this Brewers team. I don't love the rotation, but the bullpen does make up for it.
Yeah,
Devin Williams, Joel Payamps, Trevor Megill, Hobie Milner, Abner Uribe, who I don't know if you've seen pitch. He is a psychopath.
I love Abner Uribe.
He is a psycho, which I
It's
love
his
out of a pitcher.
every pitch moves so much too.
Yeah, and it's 100.
Yeah.
He think and Hobie Milner is like the opposite
Oh, I love it. Dude, it's also a hilarious name for like that kind of pitcher.
for like
Oh,
a guy that throws 88.
just a
88
weird
from the
guy.
left side. His name's Hobie.
Obi.
But
Unreal.
I think this does a great job of rounding out the Brewers lineup.
Exactly.
And I
Yeah.
think that's they could use some help. It would be awesome if Tyler Black could play a serviceable second or third, because Bryce Terang's cool. I just don't know if he's ever going to have
He doesn't have the bat.
I don't think he's ever going to hit quite enough to be an everyday second baseman on a playoff team.
I agree.
And Andrew Monasterio, I actually do like, but Tyler Black's just going to be a better hitter. So
Yeah.
but
Monasterio, yeah, he kind of I don't really remember him coming up, but he was serviceable, like solid all of last year.
no, he was definitely. I mean, it's just the slugging again. Like those Terang and Monasterio have the same problem where they don't hit the ball hard enough.
Exactly. Turing's like a 9 second base, and it's like
Yeah, which you can live with if Terang's your third middle infielder. That's awesome.
yeah. No, that's a
But
good team.
starting, I don't see it.
In a very winnable division. I think that's always like important to highlight. Like
Yes, NL Central's wide open.
NL Central, so winnable.
So very winnable.
Yeah.
So we will move on to the part I'm actually probably most excited to talk about.
Yeah, we got a few free agents left.
We got like kind of a lot of them left.
I know, it's very surprising right now.
Like it's late January, man. The pitchers and catchers are going to report in 3 weeks.
I know.
And Jordan Montgomery and Blake Snell both don't have a team.
And it's getting harder to narrow down where I could picture them as we were kind of talking about that.
So where do you I want to talk about Montgomery first.
Yeah.
I think
I really liked Montgomery to the Red Sox.
And that's not going to happen.
No, exactly. Now, like
I think he's borderline perfect for the Red Sox, but it's not going to happen.
exactly. I don't know. I mean, I feel like there could be some dark horse teams. Like, how cool would it be if like the Orioles took a stab?
That'd be great, but again, I think it's another team that's just they're not going to fucking do it.
Are the Dodgers out of money? Are the Yankees?
I would have said they're out of money after the Ohtani signing, and clearly that was fucking wrong.
Yeah.
So maybe the Dodgers will get Montgomery. Actually, this is a good segment. So I have Montgomery, Bellinger, Snell, Chapman to the Dodgers. I have Kershaw, Brandon Belt, Mike Clevenger. They're going to the Dodgers.
Dude,
Everybody's going to the Dodgers. Why? James Paxton went to the Dodgers. Why not?
wow, big maple. I mean Montgomery to the back to the Rangers makes so much sense to me.
That's what I had.
Or to the Cardinals, like reunite there.
I think the most obvious thing now that the Rangers did not sign Hader is that the Rangers just signed Montgomery again.
Yeah, and that's
just run it back. Just literally just run it back. Just
throw the death ball or whatever it's called.
Why not? If you just won the World Series, why not just run it back with the same exact team again?
Exactly, dude. Exactly.
Or
Yeah.
just sign him back and
I
go
don't
get
know what's going on that they're waiting so long. I think maybe he's like trying to parlay like his postseason stats a little bit too much into like
Yeah,
a
I think so. It makes sense. I look at the these next three. These are like the big free agents, right? Is the next three after Montgomery is Bellinger, Snell, and Chapman.
Yep.
It makes sense why teams are kind of waiting it out on them.
Because we've talked about it too. Like they're kind of unpredictable.
Right. Bellinger's ups and downs, Snell's ups and downs, and as you know, he walks a ton of guys, and Chapman's ups and downs. Like you have
Yeah.
very volatile players. Jordan Montgomery is going to be a
Solid.
really good pitcher.
Jordan Montgomery's solid throughout. Yeah.
Like he just will be. Like you're going to sign him, and he's going to be a good pitcher still. So
Yeah.
I am a little confused as to why the market hasn't developed for him, but I think he will be the first guy of these three. I think. And I do think it's going to be the Rangers because I just don't see another team that makes a ton of sense at this point.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
So yeah, kind of a boring answer, but none of it makes sense. And I think I might have another boring one with Bellinger too.
Yeah. We both agree probably the Cubs.
Cubs, yeah. Well, I look around. Who else is going to pay for Bellinger?
Yeah. We were thinking Yankees, but
That's gone. I
yeah,
think.
it's
I don't think the Yankees are.
yeah.
I haven't seen any rumors about him to the Yankees, and I think you look at because the only teams that are going to sign Bellinger are playoff teams.
Exactly. Exactly. Like it's just the Cubs.
Yeah, like I'm thinking of teams. You know, Cincinnati's not going to do it.
Could the Giants?
The Giants are the only team that could be in contention. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and like they have, I don't know. It's tough.
And
It's
they
really
have, I think, Jung Ho Lee is, their slotted center fielder right now, and I think he'd be a good center. He's a fine center fielder. I think he's probably an elite corner outfielder.
yeah.
So it would make sense for the Giants to sign Bellinger, but again, I think we'd be having the same thing where it's, they're still just trying to sneak into a wild card spot because the Dodgers are going to win that division.
Exactly. Exactly. Like
I just think it makes the most sense for the Cubs. He just feels like a Cub.
yeah, yeah.
And I think I'll skip Snell for now. I'll go to Matt Chapman. I think if you're the Cubs, what you're asking yourself is, do I want Bellinger for, I'm assuming 200 million plus, or do I want Matt Chapman for probably $100 million less?
That would be a crazy infield.
That I know, dude. If it was Matt Chapman with Dansby and Nico,
Oh my, no ball is getting through.
and it's Michael Bush is at first, and I mean he would just I don't know what his defensive shit is. He would basically just have to catch the ball, and they would have the best defensive.
Oh my God, that infield is unreal.
So I think that's kind of the process you have to go through right now is Matt Chapman for $100 million less than Bellinger. Which one do you feel is more valuable?
I definitely agree. I definitely agree.
And I think honestly, I would go with Bellinger.
Yeah, I mean, just Bellinger, like what he showed last year, that's so valuable.
It's enough. It's enough to dream on, and at the very least, I don't think he's ever going to be as bad as he was.
Yeah.
So I think
And
at the very least, there you have a league average hitting center fielder that plays elite defense in center.
Matt Chapman was true Matt Chapman last year.
I was looking this up. If you take out April, he had a 650 something OPS the rest of the year.
And if you only count April, he had a 900.
He had like a 1100 OPS in April.
Just so weird, but he plays great defense throughout.
He plays good defense, and he's just the streakiest hitter in the world.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
do you see? So we both see Bellinger to the Cubs. We see Montgomery to the Rangers. Where does Matt Chapman slot in?
That's tough. I could see the Mariners taking a stab at him.
Yep.
Like we've talked about that. Like they need something.
I want them to. I don't know if they will.
Yeah.
But I think the market for Chapman's going to be. He might not get 100 million.
No.
I don't think he is.
But I think like you defensive third baseman. I could see. don't know.
Because again, the only teams that are going to pay Matt Chapman,
But
money will be playoff teams. The Giants again,
yeah,
I mean, the Giants are another team.
also from that area too.
The Giants would make a lot of sense.
What about the Cardinals?
No, Arenado.
Oh, yeah, Arenado. Why was I thinking Arenado's on the team?
No.
Yeah, yeah, that would make no sense.
No.
Actually,
No, the Cardinals don't need that position player. I was going through their roster. They are stacked. They're going to be good again this year.
yeah, yeah. No,
I think last year was a fluke year. I think they're going to bounce back.
I agree.
Everybody had a bad year. It was crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, Giants makes a ton of sense.
But
I
just
don't
don't
want a
think.
bad team, and I don't think a bad team would go for him.
I don't think so either. I don't
Like,
think so either.
you don't think the Rockies are going to go for him? Like,
I mean, they did go out and sign Chris Bryant for no reason at all. So maybe.
oh man,
But I think, yeah, the Giants make the most sense because I think the Bellinger ends up on the Cubs. I think it's one or the other. I think if Bellinger ends up on the Giants, then Chapman ends up on the Cubs.
okay, I like that. That's a good way to think about it. Like,
Flip flop them each way.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
do think Bellinger ends up on the Cubs, which means I think that Chapman's going to end up on the Giants.
yeah, for sure.
So I guess that's what makes the most sense there. And then Blake Snell.
Who needs a really good pitcher? Every team.
Everybody.
Yeah. Who can afford Blake Snell at this moment?
Dude, this is like pissing me off as a Red Sox fan. Just going through this.
There's so much on the table, and the Red Sox, I feel like, are closer than the Red Sox think.
Who needs a really good starting pitcher? The Red Sox do. Who has the money to pay for a really good starting pitcher? The Red Sox do. Are the Red Sox going to do it? No.
No.
They it's killing me. It's fucking killing me.
I really wish I could see like what teams are thinking. Like, there's so many teams that Blake Snell would be good for.
Yeah, I think it's just the asking price has to be crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean, coming off the year he had.
Yeah, so he's a two-time Cy Young winner.
Yeah.
Like
he goes 5 innings.
Yeah, he's gonna be playing that card.
Yeah.
But I think a team that honestly would make sense, or no, they won't make sense now because they traded for Robbie Ray. I was thinking Mariners, sign Blake Snell and then trade some of your guys for bats. But that doesn't make sense. Like I don't know. I don't know where is the market for Blake Snell. I don't know where it is.
Back to the Padres.
Yeah. I mean, it might end up being that.
It's so weird to me. I don't know.
The Yankees?
Yeah, but they would find a way to ruin him.
Like the Mets, maybe?
Mets aren't going to spend aren't spending money right now. So
the report is that the Yankees are the only team to extend offer to Snell, but I kind of feel like that's bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, also like I said Padres, but they kind of see the writing on the wall. They know they're not really going to be that team.
But Padres could still be good.
That's what I'm. Yeah, they're having some financial issues.
And their owner died.
Yeah, they're R.I.P.
But they could still be good, and I think if they
somehow have a really good base,
they somehow still have the money to get Blake Snell, then I see no reason why they shouldn't just bring him back.
I see no reason either.
But God, I wish the Red Sox would sign him.
Yeah.
I really do. I wish they would sign Montgomery first, but if they weren't going to sign Montgomery, I wish they'd sign Snell. But honestly, you know what? Fuck it. I think he's going to the Yankees.
Really?
They do. I think the Yankees are going to do it.
Yeah, it makes the most sense to me.
But I mean, you're only guaranteed 1 year of Soto.
Yeah.
So this has to be your year, right? You're gonna have to go for it, and there's nothing that says going for it like signing the two-time Cy Young winner.
Exactly.
And so those are the four big ones left.
Yeah.
Because then it gets, not bleak, but certainly not that caliber of player. Kershaw's still not signed, but he's just gonna go to the Dodgers, right?
Yeah, he's just gonna go another 1 year deal with the Dodgers, and they're like, oh, we'll have a 2.5 ERA again.
Yeah, well, he's going to be out until like the All-Star break.
Oh, he will. Yeah,
So
that's
I
fair.
think he honestly might just not sign until he's like ready to get back.
Yeah, he'll probably just he's probably talking to the Dodgers right now. Like, just
Yeah,
wait.
just wait. We'll be fine.
It's probably gonna be like at their facility working out.
And then Brandon Belt's a free agent, but I don't really want to talk about Brandon Belt.
No, he's boring.
Here's the Red Sox move for you. It's Mike Clevenger.
Mike Clevenger,
Mike
just
Clevenger's he's gonna go to the Red Sox.
an arm.
Yeah, I think. And if there's some talks about moving off of Kenley as well,
Yeah,
because he's owed 16 million this year, and since we're fucking poor, apparently we have to. We can't give somebody else 16 million before we get rid of Kenley's 16. So but either way, I think Clevenger was pretty good last year. He had a 3.7 ERA and 130 innings. I just think that this is the type of move that the Red Sox are going to do, is that they're just going to bring in the guys that are okay to start games. And as depressing as that is, that kind of just feels like what they're going to do,
yeah, exactly.
which sucks. And then JD Martinez, the DH market is very slow.
Yeah, like JD Martinez is gonna murder baseballs.
He's going to rake, and it's him and Soler, right? And Soler a couple like 1 week ago seemed like a slam dunk to go to the Blue Jays, and that hasn't materialized yet.
Yeah,
So I think I'm just gonna keep he does make a lot of sense to go to the Blue Jays. Like they need, you know, it just makes sense. So I think and the Red Sox were in on but the Red Sox, they're like in on everybody, but they never actually offer them a competitive offer.
that's what I want to know. Like, I don't know. The Red Sox, it's just so up in the air right now.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do anything. I have a hard time forecasting anybody that's gonna cost, anything substantial,
Yeah,
the Red Sox, because all the messaging feels like they're just not gonna do it.
yeah, yeah. It's weird. We
And
did also get a very important person,
who?
Joey Gallo.
Oh, we did forget Joey Gallo. I want to talk about Joey
Favorite
Gallo.
signing that we said was our favorite
Yeah,
signing.
literally, I can't believe we forgot about it. So it's Joey Gallo, 1 year, 5 million to the Nationals.
It's so fun. The
It's
Nationals are so good at rebuilding, and it's unfair.
Yeah. So I think on top of it just being fun,
Yeah,
it's smart.
he can only improve his value from 5 million.
From five. So here's the deal, right? If by the work of God, the Nationals are in playoff contention, that means that Joey Gallo has hit like 30 home runs before the All-Star break.
Yeah,
So obviously you're not trading him then, but the most likely scenario is that the Nationals are not in playoff contention, and Joey Gallo is going to be one of two things. Joey Gallo is going to fucking suck, or Joey Gallo is going to have like 20 home runs at the All-Star break, and there's going to be some playoff team out there that's going to be like, hey, we need a lefty platoon bat that hits bombs, and I don't care how much he strikes out. And Joey Gallo is just going to be sitting there,
Gallo.
and they're going to go, hey, here's our 12th best prospect for Joey Gallo, and you paid him, you're off the prorated salary, you're paying him, $3.5 million, and you paid $3 million for a pretty good prospect.
Yeah.
And it's just smart. Like the Nationals keep doing moves like this, and they keep recouping on their prospects, and they get, pretty good players, and they retain their pretty good players. They run a small market very well. And I think they could pretty easily, like where the Reds are right now, I think the Nationals could be that team that are similar to the Reds in terms of, in a couple of years, everybody's going to be young and their prospects are going to be good. And that's when you see them take off and start to spend a little bit more money. But for now, you do the fun signings and you get Joey Gallo and you hope he hits 40 home runs because he's Joey Gallo.
Exactly. It's like, and I outperformed all projections last year.
Yeah.
And like, they had some weird guys that were just good.
Yeah, that's what they were fun last year. I watched a good amount of Nationals games.
They were what the A's hope to be.
True,
Yeah.
true. I think. Yeah, I can't believe we forgot to talk about Gallo.
And they draft Dylan Cruz. Like they're gonna be in good hands.
Yeah, yeah. God, I didn't even. I forgot that they drafted Dylan Cruz. They got the guy that was projected to go 1-1 for the
Yeah.
whole college season.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think they're closer than what people think they are.
Yeah, they've got a very young and like the prospect haul they got from the Padres is all starting to like show up. And like James Wood is gonna be a
Yeah, the
monster.
outfield's going to be James Wood, and it's some combination of James Wood and Dylan Cruz.
It's insane.
Two freak shows.
Yeah, and maybe even Joey Gallo sticks around. They're
No
extending.
shot. No shot. But God, I would love like if Joey Gallo's going to have a bounce back anywhere, it's going to be with the Nationals,
Yeah,
which is so funny.
yeah. It's
But yeah, I'm
it's
glad
just
we
thorn in the
remembered Joey
Braves'
Gallo.
side.
What was that? Sorry.
It's gonna be a thorn in the Braves' side. The
Probably.
Nationals. Yeah,
Probably.
I can't wait to watch a Joey Gallo go ahead home run in a game that we're like we should be winning. They're just like, oh, God.
Yeah, in a game that Strider started.
Yeah, Strider's the best pitcher ever. If stats just didn't exist, apparently. Like if only analytics and striking people out mattered, Spencer Strider first ballot.
I think I'm going to bet on Strider to win the Cy Young.
Yeah, I mean a very unlucky year last year.
Yeah, I just I if he's probably going to be the favorite. I don't think I even care.
It's just Spencer Strider. Just yeah, it's crazy.
But back to some free agents.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, is there anybody you wanted to single out that we haven't talked about?
I was looking at the list. Obviously, Zach Greinke.
Oh,
It would just be funny to watch him still play.
it would be hilarious to watch.
Yeah, there's not like I did say Garrett Cooper. I like Garrett Cooper as a hitter. And like I think there's so many teams that could use him and obviously flip him at the deadline.
Yeah.
Garrett Cooper, very cool. Other than that, like I was looking at the second base free agent class and it's just depressing.
Yeah,
Like
it's
Elmer,
really bad.
Whit Merrifield, Tony Kemp,
Yep.
Brandon Crawford, and Ahmed Rosario still have something to offer in the shortstop category.
Brandon Crawford has nothing to offer. I'm sorry. That guy had a 5-something OPS.
Oh my god, yeah. But Ahmed Rosario, like, he's not terrible.
No, I think, yeah, he's not terrible, and he has shown flashes of being a starting shortstop. So I think it's weird that not like I know they'll all sign eventually,
Yeah,
but it's
exactly.
weird that the really bad teams don't sign some of these guys in hopes that they're good and flip them.
I guess they just wait for the price to go down. Also, another one that I was really surprised with that I would love to have on my team as always is Jock Peterson.
Yes, I was literally just about to talk about him. And this is
Very
what
good.
I talk about with the DH market. It's JD Martinez, Jorge Soler, and Jock Peterson. They're all still there.
Jock Peterson could play outfield, dude. He's not that.
Great at it, but he can play the outfield. He can play a corner. The other two guys are useless.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I love Jock. I on his Instagram story just bought a Cybertruck, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's a very Jock Peterson move, isn't it?
Yeah. No, like Jock is last year was pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, he had a little bit of a down year power wise, but I mean, I would assume that he's gonna bounce right back.
Yeah.
I think it's weird. The market's moving very slow, and it's very odd.
I know.
Oh, also, I want the Red Sox to sign Shintaro Fujinami in the worst way possible.
Oh, dude, when the Orioles made him a reliever last year, let the Rays sign up.
No, don't go to the Rays, please.
Oh, yeah. Or the Dodgers, sure.
Yeah, sure. They probably have the money. Yeah, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of that's another guy. Tim Anderson. Is Tim I want to make this point.
Oh yeah, a great question.
Is Tim Anderson dead?
I think it's a mix of number one, that was one of the worst years ever compared to what he did. He was an all-star. Like he was one of the best shortstops in the league.
Yeah.
And I think he's got attitude issues as well.
But here's the thing: from everything that I heard from that shit show of a White Sox clubhouse,
Yeah.
everything I heard was Tim Anderson, like Yasmani Grandal slapped Tim Anderson because Tim Anderson was like, if you don't want to fucking be here, you can leave.
He's like a fired up guy. Like that's a leader right there. He
I
told
know.
Grandal to pack his things.
Yeah, and I think like you can't make. Why is nobody making the case at all that he was just miserable last year playing on a team that played with no heart or spirit and everybody didn't want to be there?
Yeah.
He was an all-star in 2022. He hit 301 in 2022. He hit 309 in 2021.
Yeah, this is the most rebuilding team sign and flip guy you can have.
His market's never been lower, and it won't get much lower whatsoever. And I think
what if you stumble into your franchise shortstop?
Yeah. I mean, he is a little bit older at this. He's 31. He's going to be 31, but I think it was one bad year. And I understand he's got some injury. You know, he hasn't played a ton of full seasons.
Yeah.
But man, besides from last year, he was really good for a long time.
Yeah, he's a good player. Last year was so weird. There had to be something else going on.
I think something else is going on, and I won't be surprised when he's going to get like a Joey Gallo kind of deal.
Yeah. And Tim Anderson, he gets the benefit of the doubt for me, like for right now.
Oh, same for me. I don't think, in 2019 and 2020, he had an 8 OPS and like that was 870-ish. Do I think he's that? It's like, no.
Yeah.
But do I think he's like a high 700s OPS guy still? Yeah.
Yeah. Which is a shortstop? Like, come on.
And if you don't believe in the defense as a shortstop, just move him to second.
Yeah.
He'll play second base, and I'm sure he'll be fine there.
I think it'll be really interesting to see where he signs. Like,
I'll be watching his season pretty closely because I do think that he's just going to be. I think he's one of the easier, cheap bounce back candidates that you could have.
Exactly. Yeah, super interesting class this year, and like it is moving very slow.
Moving so slow. I keep waiting for the shoe to drop.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of bad teams that are just kind of waiting each other out.
Yeah, I feel it kind of does feel like that because it's interesting for like baseball sickos at this point, like me and you. Like we're waiting on where Tim LeCastro is going to sign.
Oh, that's a Met if I've ever seen one.
Right, like we're waiting for that kind of thing. But I think like Aaron Hicks is out there. Aaron Hicks could help a bad team. Justin Turner's out there. Justin Turner could help a good team.
Turner can hit. The guy can hit.
Carlos Santana's out there. Michael A. Taylor. Michael Lorenzen's still there. Whit Merrifield's out there. Donovan Solano.
Michael Lorenzen threw a no-hitter.
Michael Lorenzen threw a no-hitter and then was fucking horrible for the Phillies.
Remember when Domingo Herman threw a perfect game?
Yeah, I do. That sucked.
It's insane.
That objectively sucked.
Yeah, and then I think he went to rehab.
He went to rehab like 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
He threw a perfect game and he threw a perfect game, walked out of the stadium and walked into rehab.
In the 70s, he would have been a star.
Oh God. I mean, he would have been lauded for beating his wife and being an alcoholic.
Yeah, that's the norm for baseball back then.
I mean, God, that was probably Babe Ruth.
Yeah, it's
But I think we've exhausted mostly everything to talk about at this point. We've made numerous Tim LeCastro. When you start talking about Tim LeCastro, it's time to end the podcast.
Yeah, might have seen pictures for him. I don't know why.
But all right, I don't know how long that was, but I think we went over an hour. So
yeah.
I don't know.
I hope people like insane ramblings.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I'm just rambling.
Exactly, dude.
All right, guys. I don't know. You're probably not fucking listening, but see ya.